6:49 is the time. Back here this Monday with our Sunrise Smart Start. We begin with some breaking updates. A portion of Lehigh Station Road in Henrietta is still shut down due to an overnight crash hours ago that brought down a pole and some power lines. Deputies say this happened between Vollmer Parkway and Bennington Hills Court. Lehigh Station, you can see, still closed. This picture taken just a few moments ago as crews are still working to repair the pole. They moved the down one and trying to get the other one back upright. A man is dead after a police chase over the weekend that ended with a crash on Lakeshore Boulevard in Irondequoit. Police say this began with an officer seeing a motorcyclist speeding on Titus Avenue, lost sight of him near Culver Road when the driver refused to pull over. Sometime later after that in the afternoon, another officer responded to a crash at Lakeshore involving a motorcycle and an SUV. Investigators say this appears to have happened when the rider ran into the other vehicle as it was parking at the beach. Officers tried to provide CPR, other medical aid, to that motorcyclist immediately, but the victim did not make it. He was later identified as a 24-year-old from Greece. Along with the Irondequoit Police, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, RPD, and state troopers responded, and now going forward, per state law, the State Attorney General's office will take over this investigation. Troopers have identified the man killed in a plane crash Friday night in Steuben County. Around 7 o'clock, the small engine plane went down on Morton Hill Road and the pilot was killed. Identified as 41-year-old Brian Valder of Penfield. Investigators say the plane had taken off from the Brockport area. At this point, the FAA and NTSB are still in the early stages investigating the cause. Hearing a lot of frustration for a lot of people that live at the Brier Manor apartment complex in Brighton. Going back to last Monday, there was a gas leak and it told tenants it would be fixed within about 72 hours. A week on and 6 days after that, a second notice was delivered pointing to even more leaks, saying gas and hot water would be unavailable for an unknown amount of time. The tenants tell News 8 they are running short on patience. Some have to choose to clean their clothes at the laundromat or shower at the gym, but that's not an option for all.
There's so many people who live in the complexes who need hot water. Some people don't even have anywhere else to go besides here. And yeah, I would say the only other place to shower would be a gym, and you would have to pay for a gym membership and just more money out of your pocket.
Now, News 8 did reach out to management at Brier Manor for comment. We have yet to hear back. Let's take you inside the Huddle. This morning, the Bills are back at it at St. John Fisher University for a closed day of practice at camp. That means it's just them, no fans. They're getting ready to take on the New York Giants Saturday to open up their preseason slate. And for the first time since seeking an offseason contract extension, running back James Cook did not practice Sunday. He was asked why, simply said business. He was off the field. You see him there on the exercise bike with injured players, but was not dressed in his full gear. Through yesterday, Cook had been a participant in all of camp, saying at the start he wanted to be there for his teammates and obviously to avoid getting the fines daily from the league. Cook was asked if he's a hold-in, as he's yet to come to an agreement on talks with a new contract. Again, just answered, just business. The Bills have yet to say more on the situation. At 6:52, your Sunrise traffic updates. Just keep in mind, 590 southbound ramp is closed at Monroe Avenue for next couple of weeks as they're doing some new work. Other issue near 490 on the west side in Gates, Buffalo Road and Traybold Road. And we see the hazy skies there. We'll be talking more about that with James here in just a bit. First, though, Uno. That's what we all shout, right, when you've got one card left in the game. But when it comes to the card shedding game, Kittens in Space, you just have to get rid of your cards. A father and daughter duo from our area came up with this, and it's getting ready for launch. Aran Spitzer heard with them about the game and their journey. Aran.
Yeah, so this is Jeff and Riley Wallace, Brennan, and they make up that father-daughter duo. And obviously, Jeff, being the patriarch, was always into gaming, and when it turned out that Riley was into gaming too, it was a match made for quality time and, of course, game design. The Wallaces created Kittens in Space as part of a game design competition, which they won last year. The sponsors were publishers, and they were interested, but it would take a while, so they encouraged Jeff and Riley to seek other publishers, which they did, and Dead Alive Games was interested. The one rule for the competition was that you had to use a single deck of cards. So the art you're seeing wasn't the first iteration of the game. Started with blank cards and Sharpie, turned into a game about pancakes, which is Riley's favorite. That eventually became a game about cats, which ultimately turned into Kittens in Space. Now the game is for 1 to 6 players, and And Jeff says it takes around 15 minutes for a round. The idea is that the year is 2199 and the moon is overrun with stray kittens. You'll race your opponents to rescue and rehome the Astro Cats. But the main thing for the Wallaces was creating something together.
I've been playing games since I was a kid, so it was one of those, we played cards, we played board games when I was a kid, and so that just progressed as I got older. And actually there was like about a 10-year stint when from college to kind of when they were born. I didn't do as much, but as they started getting a little older, kind of have like a built-in buddy to play with. And so our family started playing more games, and she took a bigger affinity to it than my other daughter.
I just love hanging out with my dad. We play games all the time, and so just to see this grow is one of the most coolest things ever, like to see where it started and now it's like on Kickstarter and it's doing like really well. It's pretty cool.
By the way, they do have day jobs. Now, you can still back the project on Kickstarter now. It's set to be published on Thursday. So far, they've raised nearly $44,000 with over 1,000 backers. You can find that link on our website, rochesterfirst.com. Guys.
Ron, thank you. A lot of fun. Kittens in space.
Yeah.
Paired for a game night with a space kitty from Rohrbach.
Shout out local brewery there.
Yeah.
It's a funny connection there, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure people will love that. It's incredible support they've got. Yes. All right, hazy skies. Yes. We are trying to see the sun here in Sodas.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. You go outside and you want to just look at the sun. Yeah, but don't do that.
Legally advised, have to put the disclaimer. Yeah, don't do that.
Exactly. But it is just covered in that kind of thin veil there. 8-day forecast, you can see we probably deal with it just a little bit into tomorrow as well. But bringing in some isolated storms. I haven't brought that in quite a long time. Isolated keyword, not a lot of us going to see any rain. And although temperatures do go up as we get into Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, there's not a ton of humidity. So it's not going to be that muggy as we get into the end of the week, which I guess if you're going to have heat, you might as well take away some humidity.
We will. Hey, we've got our podcast coming back for a new week. Second Cup of Sunrise. I'll be there with James talking about whatever we want. That's at 9 o'clock on the Rochester First streaming app, and we mean anything. It's a lot of fun. We'll see you then. CBS Mornings on the way at 7.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather.